Hey everybody, it's your boy BK Muck coming at you with a adjustment video. How to play defense, what formation I use, and what adjustments I make depending on how the guy plays. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll into this, and if you do like the video, just give it a thumbs up, hit the little subscribe button, and let's have a great time. Okay, so what you're going to notice here is I'm in cover 3. And the reason I like to come out in cover 3 is because I like the personnel that are on the field. I have 5 DBs because I switch in Jamal Adams as a sub linebacker. And then I have Sam Mills, but he's a 95 overall. But that's why I like that. If he comes out in 4 wide receiver sets, then I'll come out in dime. But for the most part, I only need my 3 corners, my 3 safeties, and I use her Sam Mills because he's really quick. When you level up your Sam Mills, he's really quick. But what we're going to look at here, when I show you the play art, you're going to see the 2 linebackers are in yellow hooks, and the 2 corners beside the linebackers go into the purples. This is a formation that doesn't get beat deep a lot. It's very hard to beat it deep, but it's a formation that can be beat on the underneath. And if you notice, the guy you're playing against is going on the underneath. That's a simple adjustment where you just press triangle or Y on Xbox and you go to the underneath. Right? You see where it's the right thumbstick goes down for the underneath. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up my play art. And you see the 2 corners now aren't in purples. They are in flats. And the reason I like this formation also for the run is because you're going to notice the 1 corner on the right-hand side is playing a deep blue. But he's all the way down on the line, right? So our box is crowded right here for the run. And if you want to, you can even run this safety down here. Because even when you start the play, that safety's going to run back to the center of the field. But if he hands the ball off for a run, look at that box. That box is crowded. I might suggest, though, you want him here. Because you're not going to want him right here on the outside. Like, that's the most ideal spot for the run. But if he ends up throwing, these 2 players here are going to end up colliding and causing a little bit of an issue, making an open man somewhere. And you don't want your safety being slow running back here, right? Because that's when you get beat over the top. Or if he does run this tight end here, over here, you don't want these 2 colliding and him having that quick out route. So I would put the safety here. That gives him plenty of time to get back to his deep blue coverage. And if there's a run, he's already up there to play the run. But those hard flats are perfect for on the underneath. And now I've showed you how to load the box when the run play happens. But what are the other adjustments we can make? So because you've got your safeties on the outside, what if he runs up the middle? Well, if he's running up the middle on you a lot, you click in your right thumbstick. And when you press left on the D-pad, it's defensive line. That's going to bring up this sheet. And what you're going to do is you're going to push down on the left thumbstick to pinch the line. So now you got the outside covered with your safeties and your linebackers and your DBs on the run, and you've covered the inside. Or if he's running heavy to the right, you shift your line to the right. And again, for the same, you can shift your line to the left. Or if you didn't want to play your safeties in deep, you could spread the line, and then that gives you the option of pinching your linebackers. See that one guy creep in? Now he's close in on your line. And how I pinched in the linebackers was the same as the DBs. You click in your right thumbstick. Pinching the linebackers is not the same as the DBs. It's the same as the defensive tackles. You click right on your thumbstick and you hit right on the D-pad instead of left. It says linebackers, and then you can spread them. You can pinch them. You can shift him right. Right? So that's how you can move your linebackers around the field without using them. So say I'm using McLeod, I'm getting ready for him to run this way. And I know I have my safety on the other side in case he runs the other way, which in particular situation, that side of his line is heavier set, so he might be possibly running that way. I want my linebacker ready in the middle of the field. So now I have the run covered in the field, and with single back, the odds are it's not going to be a deep throw. And if it is, it's going to be to 19 there on the outside. And that's covered with the deep blue. The tight end will split off. Maybe he adjusts and sends the tight end on a streak. But that's when you've got to adjust as well. And if you notice, right, like you're always going to get caught when they make adjustments because you don't know what they're doing at that point. But if he comes out in this formation, which just to show you, looks like this, right? So Square's going to run straight up, then run straight across the field, and he's going to run into McLeod's route. And the two drags are going to get picked up by the corners on hard flats. The one linebacker is going to pick up Bell on the curl hook. And then Elliott's on the wheel route. He's going to be picked up by the deep blue that's in on the inside. But if he streaks this one tight end here, you're going to notice streaks. If you've seen where the play is, that streak is going to be wide open. See that blue will not play that streak. It'll be wide open. So what you're going to do is if you notice him changing the tight end to a streak, you're gonna go to the guy you want to man up to him. And in this case, I would look and I'd be like, all right, he's not running to this area of the field. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to I'm gonna switch Jerry to man coverage on X. So when he streaks X, Jerry's going to run back here with him, discouraging him from making that throw because he's going to be right on him. And how I did that was I usered Jerry. I switched over to Jerry. You hit X on him, and that wheel's going to be brought up. Man coverage, you push up on the right thumbstick. And then that lets you select who you want to man up with Jerry. So I'm going to hit X, and then I'll look at the play art, and Jerry is on man. Everyone else is on zone. Jerry's on man. So Jerry's going to stay right where he is. The guy's going to think Jerry's still in zone. But when you snap off the play, Jerry will run back. Now that does leave a pretty big hole in the field. So when I'm using Edwards, I have to make sure I cover this entire area. Anybody I see in my peripherals, I got to make sure I'm ready to jump on it. I know the outside's covered, right? Everything outside of the hash I know is covered. I've got all my corners playing their zones. So as long as I can cover this area here, which will be just fine, right? Because he's going to have his drags come in. So because I'm over here, I'm going to follow this drag over, pass him off to that guy. Then I'm going to follow this drag over, pass him off to that guy. And then I'm just going to keep my eye on the field. You're not going to know it's drags. This is where you have to watch the tendencies of your player. Now you might be thinking, well, that's just single back, right? A lot of people do run single back, but then there's this formation here, which is gun bunch. Everyone here knows gun bunch because people run gun bunch like crazy. So we're going to look at the formation, and then we're going to look at the routes. This is a commonly run play in gun bunch, but a lot of adjustments are made based on the formation you see. So if I'm the offense here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch X to a drag. I'm going to switch Amari Cooper to a quick slant. And this is what we're going to be looking at here. The center of the field could be wide open. Zeke Elliott's a nice check down, because if you're going to notice here, there's nobody on Zeke Elliott inside the 30, right? Because that just by reading the zone, we know what's going on. And nobody's going to get to Zeke. It's going to be a quick dump off. But if I see this formation, I'm going to be making a lot of adjustments. Because gun bunch, when I see gun bunch, the first thing I do is I'm going to send my line to the right. Because of where his running back is, he's not coming back to the left, right? I'm going to be using this guy. I'm going to bring this guy down to the line because we want to cut off Dak Prescott's quarterback draw to the outside. But what we're doing by that is we're also going to have McLeod on the underneath. And the way I did that is, again, triangle on Xbox, Y on PlayStation, and then you switch to the underneath. And you're going to notice that brings McLeod on a hard flat, and he plays that Zeke Elliott. So he's there. He's not checking it down to Zeke. We've got Amari Cooper locked up with Maddox, as we assume, right? That's all we can do is assume. We assume Amari Cooper is doing something on that side of the field. But because we've seen the play art that I set up, we know he's slanting. So Edwards will be my user. I'm always using the middle of the field. And when Amari Cooper slants, I'm going to take him. And I'm going to pass him over to Jerry. That's the biggest thing about doing your adjustments on defense and being on defense is don't over cover a man, right? I know I've got this side of the right side of the field from Jerry on all covered up with everybody over there, right? Like I'm going to look here. Everybody over there is covering that field. Like I don't need to worry about that field. So when I get to Jerry here, I'm going to come back over here just in case he slips out somebody on a drag or a slant, or like we know Gallup is coming back here. So I'm going to come back here and pick up Gallup when I see that happening on the field and pass him off to the deep blue, and then I'm just going to keep cycling around. So that's all, guys. Like to adjust all your DBs, you press triangle, and that'll cushion them. That'll press them. That'll go on the underneath. They can go base a line, right? So that's what your DBs can do. And then if you click in your right thumbstick, it's how you move your defensive line and linebackers. But again, making these adjustments really help you, but only if you're making the right adjustments off of what the guy's doing against you. I can't tell you what adjustments to do. I can just tell you how to do the adjustments, right? So anyway, guys, that's defenses. I really do hope this video was helpful. And I'm going to be doing a video on usering, how to user, because online usering is super important, and what user you should be and how you should practice to get better at user. So keep an eye out for that video and just hit the subscribe and notification bell so when I do put it out, you get it right away. This is BK Muck, guys. I'll hit stick you later.